Coming up on UCF Nightly News, Mayor Buddy Dyer announced earlier this week that the city of Orlando is considering a change to its marijuana policies. We'll tell you how one student says he would have benefited from this proposal.
Plus, the Burnett Honors College is on the lookout this week for someone who vandalized their koi pond. Find out how the college plans to move forward after the incident.
Earlier this semester, we told you how Orange County was trying to fight the Zika virus. Now we'll tell you how UCF researchers are helping to fight Zika and other diseases spread by mosquitoes.
In sports, today is Jackie Robinson Day in Major League Baseball. Find out how his legacy started down the road in Daytona.
Nightly News starts now. Good afternoon and welcome to Nightly News. I'm Connor Engelhart.
And I'm Selena Schaefer. Today is Friday, April 15th, 2016.
The city of Orlando is considering a proposal that would decriminalize small amounts of marijuana.
Reporter Jordan E. Morgan joins us in the studio now to tell us more.
Thanks, guys. On Monday, the City Council of Orlando will discuss the option to fine first-time offenders for possession of marijuana under 20 grams. We spoke to one student who was arrested under the current law, and he went by the name RJ, and he hopes this new proposal passes.
Wish they had that, back when that happened to me.
RJ was arrested for possession of under 20 grams of marijuana when he was only 16 years old. He regrets his mistake, but he thinks being arrested was too severe of a punishment.
I think a fine, like a pretty expensive fine, would definitely do the job rather than having to go through months of probation kind of thing in a community service.
Currently, it's a first-degree misdemeanor or the officer can confiscate the marijuana. Chief of Police John Mina says this proposal will help keep first-time offenders out of jail, but officers still can make an arrest.
And they will still be able to search individuals and vehicles based upon probable cause, even for small amounts of marijuana. Subjects who have received multiple citations in a short period of time or refuse to pay the citations would not be eligible for this program.
Mayor Buddy Dyer says this new option will help our future generation.
This third option is not as harsh as an arrest, which can result in jail time and the possibility of a lifelong criminal record, but it still holds the offender responsible for their behavior.
RJ was able to get the arrest off his record, but the experience will follow him the rest of his life. Mayor Dyer says Orlando is following the footsteps of Tampa and Volusia County, who recently decriminalized marijuana under 20 grams. Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties also cite first-time offenders. We will keep you up to date on the proposal. I'm Jordan E. Morgan. Back to you, Connor and Selena.
Thanks, Jordan. Members of the UCF community have reached out to help the Burnett Honors College after another act of vandalism here on campus.
We have reporter Daniel Bird at the koi pond with the latest.
Yeah, guys, UCF PD still investigating an act of vandalism that occurred here at the pond inside the Burnett Honors College this past Sunday. You can see some workers from Natural Resources still trying to work on the filtration system. And now current and former Knights are hearing about the vandalism and want to help out.
Come here to de-stress out a lot.
Freshman Ali Satchme visits the garden at the Burnett Honors College daily and knew from the moment he stepped on campus, this was a place he'd be visiting.
On my first day of orientation, we came here and I saw here and I knew I'd be here a lot.
But last Sunday, the man seen in this image ripped out the filtration system in the garden's koi pond and added chlorinated water, killing 4 of the fish, according to the college. UCF called a specialist who saved most of the koi, and now members of the UCF community are reaching out to help. Brittany Vasile is a senior communications and events specialist for the Burnett Honors College. She says the college has had people contact the school wanting to help restock the pond.
We've actually had a few alumni who have said that they would donate their koi fish, and a few people who have actually commented on our Facebook page, hey, we have koi fish, and let us know if you need any. We would love to donate.
And Satchme believes the generosity of his fellow Knights shows just how much they care about the school.
They really value the school that we go to, and they really do care about just everything. This is a really good example of it, the fact that so many people volunteer to give away their koi fish for this pond.
A pond looking to get past some rough waters.
Okay, now Vasile says that the fish in the pond right now purchased. No donations have been made just yet. She also says that the other act of vandalism that happened here at the college in the fall in the front of the building where the wind dancer statue was damaged was unrelated to this act of vandalism. Reporting from the Burnett Honors College, Daniel Bird, back to you guys.
Thanks, Daniel. The City of Orlando says they want to become more transparent with the public. On Monday, the city launched its open data website. That includes data on building permits and crimes reported by the Orlando Police Department. Innovation official with the City of Orlando, Matt Brofman, says that OPD is the only agency in the country leading the charge for transparency.
And through this process, they volunteered again and again to be the first. And so they're one of the first to release response resistance data. They're going to be one of the first to release domestic violence and sexual assault data. But again, we realize some of the privacy issues there. So they're going back to the White House and leading the conversation around how we do that in the right way.
Brofman says that the website is not ready to update in real time quite yet. He says that the website is designed so people can analyze data and even build applications with all information found on the website. And now Troy Klesch joins us at a first look at our current weather.
That's right. Troy, how's it looking out there right now?
Well, guys, it's actually not looking too great right now. We're going to see some pretty strong chances for rain throughout the day, so you're going to have your umbrella handy. If we're looking at the current conditions right now, we're sitting at 80 degrees and the humidity at 87%, creating those conditions for the rain would stand at 50% right now, but they will increase throughout the day. Winds going north at 8 miles per hour, and coming up in the full weather, I'll tell you how the rain is going to affect the weekend.
Awesome.
Thanks, Troy. A group of UCF scientists are working hard to cure a disease that could prevent you from tossing your tomatoes in the future. The heat of the summer is back, and that means bacterial infection in your tomatoes. But UCF scientists and 11 other universities got a big chunk of money to research the disease and work towards a cure. Mikhail Young is a doctorate student working as a researcher for the project.
The width of a single strand of your hair, if you cut it up 50,000 times, that's kind of the size of our particle. Our engineered core shell system, we will be able to use less copper and obtain the same level of protection that currently is available, or even more.
Once planted in the plant, the copper will release slowly, preventing disease and resistance. The U.S. Department of Agriculture and Finance will finance the research for the next 3 years.
A group of UCF senior engineering students just made history by creating the first ever floating solar farm. If the device works as planned, the university hopes it could generate enough power to offset the energy used by Bright House Network Stadium. It's currently floating in the retention pond across from the Wayne Dench Center. The Assistant Vice President for Sustainability Initiatives at UCF, David Norvell, oversaw the students' work and was very proud with the final product.
Really good kids, really involved in trying to do the right thing throughout the project, trying to really make good decisions, and it really showed in the final outcome. The project was a big success.
The project also goes hand in hand with UCF's Climate Action Plan, which calls for 15% of the university energy to come from renewables by 2020. Just this past week, Congress approved a bill that will speed up the process to find a cure for Zika virus. In the UCF community, a team of scientists and engineers are working together to come up with a new way to detect disease-infected mosquitoes. One of those diseases is Zika. Inside the Ross Lab at UCF's College of Medicine, a collaboration is taking place to color code mosquitoes into 2 groups, infected and not infected. They hope to do so by attracting mosquitoes to drink from a device that will contain a chemical which will change the color of mosquito to either blue or red. Assistant scientist Dr. Bradley J. Willenberg is part of the team working on this new science.
It would provide a potential way that we could ask the mosquitoes directly, interrogate the mosquitoes directly, and mark the ones that have in this case, the Zika virus.
Bradley and his team are currently seeking state funding to further their work.
Coming up after the break, many states are considering laws that would allow discrimination against the LGBT individuals. We'll tell you what's happening here in Florida.
Plus, every year, new jobs are created from new technology. Find out about how one alumni who works in the field that didn't exist before he started college.
Just a few months ago, the LGBT community rejoiced when the Supreme Court ruled same-sex marriage legal in all 50 states. But now, new legislation is dividing the nation once again.
Holly Stouffer is here live in the studio with more on the issue.
That's right, guys. This community is facing pushback just months after a big win. According to the Human Rights Campaign, nearly 200 anti-LGBT laws were introduced in 34 states this year. Now, some states facing the most recent backlash for these laws include Mississippi, Tennessee, and the Carolinas. Now, Florida's flying under the radar, but I spoke to one student who said that's not enough.
We've come so far only to be held back more by this.
Michael Nunes belongs to the LGBT community here at UCF.
I'm incredibly glad that this is not happening in Florida because, thank God, but the fact that it's happening elsewhere is not okay.
States all over the nation are trying to pass bills that would discriminate against the LGBT community, from allowing businesses to refuse service based off their religious beliefs to restricting transgender people from using the bathroom of their choice. Nunes says that these bills will affect students that travel to these states. Beck Pittman is one of those students.
I have family in North Carolina and South Carolina. When I go up there, I can't go in the bathroom anymore. I can't walk around and feel safe.
Aubrey Jewett is a political science professor here at UCF. He says these bills are highly controversial and they won't be passed with ease.
A lot of these bills probably won't pass, and in some of the areas where they have passed, I think there's already moves to either reverse them or soften them up.
But this isn't the end of the fight for equality, and Nunes understands that nothing worth having comes easy.
If we can just educate more and more people, we can move towards this better future. It's just going to take time and a lot of work, but it's absolutely something this country can and will do.
A future that he hopes will include liberty and justice for all.
While the United States may remain divided on this issue, Nunes and Pittman agree that UCF embraces equality by offering services that help empower their community, like LGBTQ+ services and Pride Commons. I'm Holly Stouffer. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Holly. Technology advances every year and jobs have to adapt to keep up with the times. Reporter Justin Garfield found out how one UCF alum picked up an occupation that didn't even exist 5 years ago.
Eric DeSalvo graduated from UCF 7 years ago. His degree was in interpersonal organizational communication. Today, he works as the social media manager for UCF Athletics, a job that didn't exist when he first entered the workforce.
I look after and work along our main accounts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Vine.
With the evolution of technology, DeSalvo says marketing calls for a strong social media presence.
There's traditional platforms where it's at, but it's a new platform to reach people. And I like to tell people I'm in a position where it didn't exist 5 years ago, which is pretty crazy.
Brian Creel, the Assistant Director of Career Development at UCF Career Services, encourages students to get experience in every area of their field.
It's making sure that you are building yourself not just for one position, but building yourself for skills that are going to be transferable.
DeSalvo advises students to be open-minded when they graduate.
If you see a certain network or a certain platform taking off, educate yourself about it. You never know when that skill set can come into play.
Since technology changes often, he says everyone should try to stay ahead of the game. In Orlando, Justin Garfield, UCF Nightly News.
Creel says the best way for students to learn their field is to get involved in various organizations on campus. For more information, visit our website at nsm.today. The National Low-Income Housing Coalition recently ranked Orlando in a tie for last as the least adequate city in the nation for low-income house families to rent in. Out of the 50 largest metropolitan cities in the U.S., Orlando and Las Vegas only have 15 affordable homes for every 100 for households making $18,000 or less. 90% of those families pay more than half of their income per month on rent. The City of Orlando is making efforts to provide more affordable housing. It is partnering with private developers and nonprofit charities to redevelop and construct 5 new affordable housing developments around the city. And coming up, Troy Kless will be back with your weekend weather forecast.
Plus, a new study shows that wine drinking is gaining popularity among a surprising group. Find out who's drinking these wine bottles more and more each year. You know, there's a lot happening this weekend in the community between the spring football game, the Universal Nights.
Definitely. Troy, I'm wondering if we're going to be able to go outside and enjoy these activities throughout the weekend.
Thanks, Connor. Well, not so much. I mean, not just Florida, but even a lot of parts of the country are going to be hit with some weather. We see here in the Midwest region, we got a low pressure system that's pushing past the Rocky Mountains, and that's going to affect the Oklahoma and Texas area as well. And here in the Southeast as well, that's where we're going to see a lot of rain throughout the weekend, and that's definitely going to have a big impact tomorrow for the spring football game, as we're going to start looking at the rain chances for Florida right now. In Tallahassee, we're going to have 70% chance of rain, or excuse me, 30%. And then over in Jacksonville, we got 50% chance of rain. And in Orlando, that's where we're going to jump up to 70% chance of rain today. So you're going to have the umbrella handy. If you're going anywhere, make sure to stay safe when you're driving on the roads. And then down in Miami as well, we're going to be at 40% chance of rain. Now looking at the temperatures for Florida, we're going to start down in Miami right now. And that's where we got 80 degrees going right now for the South Florida. And then we're jumping up into Orlando where we got 80 degrees as well. Tampa 81. Jacksonville sitting at 73. And then Tallahassee is going to be a little bit cool. They got 67 degrees. And then now, if we're going to take a look at the 5-day forecast, heading into the weekend, the spring game, it's going to be pretty impacted. We see a good chance for storms as well throughout the day. 80 degrees is the high, 64 the low, 50% chance of rain. Definitely going to have the umbrella handy. Sunday, still rain chances hanging around, so if you are planning to go to Universal Nights, might want to have a jacket handy. The high is at 78 degrees and the low 61. And if we go into Monday, we got 78 degrees and a low of 59, 20% chance of rain, but that's going to be the last that we're going to kind of see the rain as we enter the rest of the week. Tuesday, our high at 82 degrees, 62 degrees, and that's all the time we got for weather, so we'll send it back to you guys.
Thanks, Troy. So I guess it's going to be a rainy weekend, so I'm going to look to stay inside.
Me too. Maybe watch a movie, have a glass of wine, because there is a new study right now that says millennials are pouring wine glasses more than other generations. According to a 2015 survey by Wine Market Council, millennial wine drinking habits are increasing. 21 to 38-year-olds have passed Generation X and baby boomers 2 years in a row. Matt Uva, sales manager for Quantum Leap Winery of Orlando, agrees with the study. He says that his business has seen an increase from the younger generation.
Especially the baby boomers. As we started to release more kind of funky wines, I've got more of the millennials coming on. But Thursdays, because they're slow, we can really geek out.
Uva says that in today's world, people are concerned about what they are drinking and that millennials are keeping up with the pattern.
Now, let's go over to Daniela Polinar, who tells us what's coming up in sports.
Thanks, guys. Coming up in sports, I'll tell you how one UCF baseball player feels about wearing the legendary number 42 on Jackie Robinson Day. Plus, there have been many changes in the UCF football program this offseason. Find out what fans can expect to see at the spring game tomorrow night. Hey Knights, I'm Daniela Polnar with your nightly news sports update. Today, Major League Baseball will celebrate the man who broke down the color barriers in America's pastime. For Jackie Robinson Day, all players, coaches, and umpires will wear Robinson's famous number 42. Nightly News went to Daytona Beach where his incredible story started. Here in Daytona Beach stands Jackie Robinson Ballpark, the site of baseball's first racially integrated game. And today marks 69 years since Robinson's first season in Major League Baseball. The park has plenty of history and is still being used today. Assistant General Manager of the Daytona Tortugas, Jim Jaworski, says the park continues to share his legacy.
You know, every day we come here to the ballpark and the history that's here and what Jackie Robinson meant to not only baseball, but then also society. And it's something that we're extremely proud of and extremely thankful to be a part of that history.
Jaworski noted that while other Florida cities wouldn't allow Robinson to play due to segregation laws, Daytona Beach stepped up to the plate.
A true testament to him and how he was, that he was willing to take on that burden and he was willing to go through those changes.
The number 42 is retired in the major leagues, but in the college game, UCF's Trent Thompson wears that number. He's reminded every day of how Robinson changed the game for years to come.
I have so many friends, even on like this team and teams in the past, that just come from such different backgrounds that never would be on the same team with me today if it wasn't for Jackie Robinson.
Thompson hopes others will remember the importance of Robinson's accomplishments. Baseball fans can celebrate Robinson's legacy as the minor league's Daytona Tortugas will play at Jackie Robinson Ballpark tonight against the Fort Myers Miracle at 7 p.m. As for Trent Thompson and the Knights, well, they kicked off a 3-game series against USF at noon today at home. The Knights will try to bounce back from Wednesday's road loss to the number 1 ranked Miami Hurricanes. The UCF football team will hit the field for the annual spring game tomorrow night. The Knights will debut their new fast-paced offense during the intra-squad scrimmage. Offensive coordinator Troy Walters says the coaching staff split the team up with the draft to make the game a bit more competitive this time around. And for the winning team, well, they're enjoying a nice dinner of steaks, and the losers, they're just getting some hot dogs. The spring game starts at 7 p.m. and is the closing act of the day-long festival the school is hosting. And the Orlando Pride will play their first ever NWSL game this Sunday. The Pride travels to Portland to take on the Thorns. Alex Morgan and Kyle were both traded to Orlando from Portland in the summer. Kyle says playing against her former team is going to be a tough first match for the Pride. She says one challenge is preparing younger teammates for the big crowd.
The fans are crazy. They chant the whole time. They're screaming and yelling at you. So, you know, it's just getting everyone prepared for that mentally and physically.
Kyle says the team chemistry is improving day by day with players returning from international break. Well, that's all the time we have in sports. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Danielle. We'd like to take a second to brag about our program. Last Saturday, the Florida Associated Press named Nightly News the best college TV newscast.
That's right. Associate Director of NSC Tim Brown and student Camila Hernandez accepted the award from 2005 Marcy Gonzalez of ABC News.
Well, that's all the time we have for right now. Thanks for joining us. And remember, you can always keep up with us during the week on our website, nsm.today.
And if you've got a story idea that you want us to know about, send it our way. You can reach us at nightlynewsucf@gmail.com. Thanks for watching and have a good day.